our next guest has worked in both the public and private sectors, considers herself to be someone who gets a job done, and she's about service. Well, the Honourable PM, Andrew Holness, recently appointed her as a government senator and announced yesterday that she's now minister without portfolio in the office of the Prime Minister. I'm speaking about none other than Senator the Honourable Dr. Dana Morris Dixon. How does that feel when you sit in it? Hey? How does it feel?
It's a little weird. I'm very grounded. I'm not very big on title at all.
Yeah.
And so, it's kind of a little bit weird. And I know in Jamaica we get very hung up on titles.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm just Dana.
Yes, because you said
Just
you told
Dana.
him, I don't need all these titles.
I don't need it.
Unfortunately, you're kind of stuck with them.
Yeah.
So let's start at congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Did you ever see this happening in your wildest dreams? Was this on your 2023 bingo card?
No, it was not on my vision board. And I'm very diligent about doing vision boards.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not on the vision board for this year. But there was one thing that was on it, which was women leaders. I had that word on the vision board because it's something that means a lot to me, and seeing more women in leadership roles is very important. And I think that did play into the thinking and the decision making when I was asked, and it's obviously an honor to be asked because, many people know I'm not, in politics or anything, and then to get a call like that, you had to really think about it. And is this really the opportunity to serve the country? And that's really what I've always wanted to do.
So this is really your fault. You manifest.
I pulled it in, right? I pulled it in.
But you've been about service for a long time. You actually said your grandma kind of like drilled that into you.
She did.
About serving. You've worked with people on both sides, and you say entering into this arena, that people are going to try to label you, but you really don't care about any of that. But as you take this on, like, what is your... Well, let me start before. In the last month, your life has completely changed. Your life as you know it. You've gone from private work at JN to now serving. You've gone from the senator to the minister. What are your expectations as you step in? It's so much to do.
It's a lot. But I think with anything that is difficult, and I don't mind difficult things are kind of my thing. But I think I have done a lot of work. Done a lot of work on self. And I always tell people, when you're going into leadership positions, the most important work is the work you do on self and getting really grounded in who you are and really holding on to that concept of who am I. And I think as I go into this, I think I have to really hold on to that core, the core of who I am. And there will be a lot of distractions around me, but once I am centered in that, and you have to every day be very deliberate about being very centered in that. I think, yes, even though a lot has changed, I'm doing my best to remain that centered person and understanding that this is not about me. It's not about me at all. And I know for me, the opportunities that I got were tremendous. I know, my grandma, who I love and was the love of my life for a long time before my husband came along, she instilled in me that, I got a lot. And a lot was expected from me. She never got what I got. She never got the education I got and to see the world and to do all of the fabulous things that I've been able to do. And I knew that very early, that there are many more of me.
Yeah.
There are many more me's out there that just never got the opportunities.
Yeah.
And given that I got it, and I got it in Jamaica, I got the best education you can get in Jamaica. I know when I went away on a Fulbright scholarship through the U.S. government, when I was in school in the U.S., I was at the top of my game. I was at the top of the class. So we can produce really good things in Jamaica.
We have produced. Yeah.
And we can do so much more. And you had Orlando Patterson on this morning, talking about education and the things we have to do in education to move our country forward. I'm here because I got a good education. What we want to see are more children like us getting access to that type of education. So there'll be more of me going into the public sector and serving in this way.
Yeah, Grandma said, use the gifts that God gave you to help people.
Yes.
Was that a pivotal reason you decided to accept this? And what are some of the other reasons? Because some people looking on and say, you're really welcome from your good...
I know, from my good career. Come into this craziness.
Yeah.
But, I've always known this is where I was going to be, not necessarily as a minister or a senator. That wasn't necessarily in my frame of reference. But I worked in the public sector before. I worked at the Office of the Prime Minister. I worked in JAMPRO. And so, you know, I understood the public sector. And it was always where I felt that I could get the most. And you know, when you work in the private sector, you are working, you know, to generate profits and to help people. And luckily I was in GN, which has this very big view of what its mandate is, which is bigger than profits, and it's about people. And so that was helpful for me. But my heart has always been in how can I help more people? And I think the government and the public sector is really that place where you can have the biggest impact.
Yeah. That's why you're about service, lady. So you landed exactly where you were supposed to land.
be.
So what next? What is your plan? Your area of special responsibility is it digital?
It's digital transformation, right. And it is also skills development, which are two very important
game
pieces.
changers now moving us forward.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing is, you know, when we're talking about transformation, that word we use it a lot. And it's a big word. But a lot of time change, transformation is difficult and it's uncomfortable. But I think as a people, we have to think about what's that vision of the future? Where do we want Jamaica to be? And it's very important, you know, because a lot of times we get pushed in doing things. But what we want to be able to do is to take it into our own hands, create our own destiny, define what that destiny is. What do we want to look like 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and then start doing the work that is absolutely necessary to get us there.
Are you excited, filled with trepidation, anxious, nervous, sweating? I got this.
All of the above. I mean, my personal mantra, which is all over the house, is be not afraid. And we see that so many times in the Bible, because we're going to be confronted with things that are scary. Throughout our entire life, we are confronted with scary things. And it's about being able to be courageous and to walk through the fear. So yes, of course there is fear. You know, what is this crazy world that I have decided to go into? But we have to walk through the fear. And, you know, we're in a very Christian country, and I'm from a very Christian family. And I know that with God's protection that I can do it. I know. I know that deeply.
You're ready. You're ready. Anyway, we know the work started already, because once the PM called you, the work has begun. And we know you're starting to get a taste of exactly what's ahead. But we, you know, based on what we've seen and read and heard from you today, you're the man for the job, lady. You are the woman for the job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All the very best.
Thank you.
As you look to serve our nation and move us forward. It's an all hands on deck approach, you know, people. So we have to wish everybody who has the responsibility to help us do that all the very best in the discharge of their duties. Be not afraid. He goes before you always.
Oh, yes.
Says, come follow me and he will give you rest.
Oh,
all
yes.
Right.
My favorite hymn.
Yeah, is it? I love that song too. All right, Senator, the Honorable Dr. Dana Morris Dixon. Coming up next, we're going to see what's taking place at the Women's Center of Jamaica. Garth is down there, so we're going to check in with him after this.